And they're playing an organ also.
Yeah. Well, they get like 16 points. That pretty much means it's a scheduled buttload.
They're being kind. 16 points.
Well, they're just not as big. I mean, he can be, but this year he.
This is the make or break right here.
It takes more than 3 or 4 players.
This will bring you down
enough. You made my day earlier.
I did have your name come up with some conversation with my boss relative to that building next door.
Yeah. You know, I had dinner with Ellen when I had dinner with Gordon Road. He was not in favor.
We've already talked.
He was not in favor of that.
Well, you said you weren't either.
I thought $8.5 million.
Well, I've got another plan for that.
Yeah. I'd love to see it further, but $8.5 million.
Sonny came up for me the other day. He threw me off. I said, where? He goes, right across from the charter. Somebody. He's like, that's not our money, that's profit. I said, I don't know that they're putting that much in it. He goes, yeah, y'all want to put it in the paper. I said, you don't put it in the fire station? He goes, yeah. I said, that's not supposed to be. He goes, well, when I came through, he goes, it was everything. I said, I got it. I said, really? You know, he said it was the police and fire and city hall.
It was. When I was on city council, we met upstairs in that building.
Where?
But I didn't know that.
Who were you talking to?
Sonny.
What's he in favor of?
He's not. He's like, I think the $8.5 million.
Well, he.
Okay, Gary, can you hear me?
Give away the bricks. That's what he said. I hate to take it.
New number again. A little more reasonable. That's 8,000.
I guess.
First floor, 4,000 second floor square foot. So total 8,000.
That easy, wasn't it? Okay, Gary, on.
You need this
We
one.
don't really have drawings.
No, it was, I just, we had to pay them again. He did that conceptual work, all that other work.
Right.
On the presumption that we'd do something with that one, but that way we can start from scratch, a brand new building.
He's basing that off square footage or?
Well, I just told him, instead of made it a little bit bigger than the existing old building.
All those kids in that, we'll give it back. So when this meeting's over, I'm gonna go ahead and steal some of that purchase and take it home.
Did you move the nameplate?
I did.
If you wanted to be Gary tonight.
My stuff was here, so I just sat here.
I like the comfortable silence right before the meeting.
Before you smack that hammer, he was
Every single time it does.
Make sure your microphone is on. Looks like everybody's is on. We got about 20 seconds.
A meeting or two, you end up with the low rocker chair that sings. It's okay. I forgive y'all for who gave me this chair.
Last one in.
And away we go. Good evening. I'll call this meeting of the Cartersville City Council to order. If you'll please stand for invocation and pledge.
Please join the pledge. Oh, sorry, my bad.
Well, we still join you. Good evening, everyone. Let us pray. Our Father in heaven, we thank you once again for your abundant grace and your abundant mercy. We thank you once again for to assemble in the seat of government of Cartersville, Georgia. We ask you to come down, be in the midst of this council meeting, and guide us and direct us in making decisions. We ask these blessings and all blessings in your Son Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Please join the pledge now. Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Straight roll, please.
Carrie Hodge, Ward 1. Jay Stepp, Ward 2.
Here.
Carrie Roth, Ward 3.
Here.
Calvin Cooley, Ward 4.
Here.
Gary Fox, Ward 5.
Here.
Pat Brennan, Ward 6.
Here.
Thank you, Julia. First order of business is the approval of our council meeting minutes from September 7th. And council, you have received these minutes earlier in the week and had an opportunity to look them over. Now would be the time to make any corrections, if any, to be had. And if there are none, a motion would be in order.
Make a motion to approve.
Next.
I've got a motion and a second. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
And the minutes, thank you, Gary. So the minutes are approved unanimously. Mr. Menino, if you'll get us started off with 429 West Main Street.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. The library is requesting a variance to allow an accessory structure, performance patio, in the front yard of a corner lot. Our ordinance states that corner lots actually have 2 front yards. With that, per our city zoning ordinance, variance applications require the owner's signature on the application. So this request is simply to have council authorize the mayor to sign said application.
Okay, thank you. Any questions for Randy at this time? Thank you, Randy. I know there's several people here, and we've gotten plenty of correspondence over the last few weeks. I know there's been some meetings and an opportunity for council to hear and to see what's going on. I did share with council earlier this week and asked if they felt they had enough information to make an informed decision, or if they needed to hear from, get more information, and council unanimously felt that they had enough information in hand. I agree with that assessment, and so the option, or the item is up for discussion.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, sir.
I'd like to make a motion, if that's okay.
You're legally obligated to at some point. Go ahead.
All right, I make a motion to deny the city of Cartersville the authority to sign the variance application.
Okay. I've got a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor indicate by saying aye.
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 The motion carries unanimously. Next item is time change for our December 7th council meeting.
Yes, Mayor, this is the annual Christmas parade that evening, so we moved the meeting to the morning meeting with work session starting at 8 and the regular meeting starting at 9 a.m. I recommend a resolution for your approval.
Thank you. Any discussion on this item?
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor indicate by saying aye.
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 Motion carries unanimously. Mr. Roberts, you're up.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Now, making sure before I get started, I don't have to read all the wherefores and the what tos.
No.
Okay, just making sure.
Not unless you want to spend more time.
Please don't. Please don't. How about that?
So, Parks and Recreation Department would like to apply for the RTP grant, which is a recreational trails program. We're looking to help cover the cost of the trailhead at Pine Mountain. We're looking to put in a restroom. This grant would be a $200,000 grant with a 20% match, and I recommend approval.
Thank you. Is there any discussion on this item? If there's none, a motion's in order.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor, indicate by saying aye. Aye. Motion carries unanimously. Next item, please, Steve.
All right, and then, so we're looking to allow CPL Architecture and Engineering and Planning submitted a proposal to evaluate and design a specific improvements for the Main Street entrance at Pine Mountain for this, and this would be project cost would be $14,790, and again, as we move forward, this is something, whether we get that grant or not, it would be a part of what we would need to move forward with a restroom in that facility. So.
Okay, any discussion on this item? And if there's none, a motion is in order.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries
Thank you.
unanimously. Thank you, Steve. Mr. Porter, you've got the next few here.
Yes, Mayor, this is a follow-up from a prior meeting we had. Matt Womack is here this evening to give you an update on his plans for 178 West Main Street, the old police station. This is conceptual plans. I'll turn it over to Matt here in just a minute. He also has a new LLC he's created if the council does accept the conceptual plans that he brings forth to you. It'll also be approval of that contract with the change in the LLC. Just a note from Mayor and Council, as part of the contract in Exhibit B, the council will see this again, consideration of final construction plans, which will have to go through, obviously, Randy's department, to council. This will be brought back to see ultimately approve the final construction plans, which is part of the contract process. But I'll turn over to Matt, and he can kind of share where he's at in the process with this project.
And Matt, you've been here before, but if you'll please, for our clerk, name and address for the minutes.
Yeah, of course. Matt Womack, 716 West Avenue. So yeah, we landed on, and this got, the civil drawings were submitted, I believe Friday, if not Friday, Monday, for review. And I believe I did already get an email from David Hardigree about when we're going to be meeting for the review. I do know that the engineer has been in contact with several of the departments and has already talked through a few things, but I know there'll be some tweaking going on moving forward. But what we ended up with was basically 18 units. They are all, each unit is roughly 2,900 square feet, so pretty large, honestly, per unit. We will have 2 entries and exits. One will be from Leak Street, the other from Bartow Street. There will be a retaining wall along West Main Street that will turn at Bartow Street and then follow Bartow Street. So there will be, and it won't be a big retaining wall. It'll be like, at the tallest point, maybe 3 feet. So it'll be that, and we don't know exactly what we're going to cover it in. It'll either be brick or stone. But I will have the final architectural plans. So we have 2 different floor plans. You'll notice that you have 3 buildings of 5 units. Those are all the same floor plan. And then you have one building with 3 units.
You can go with the screen if you want to.
Okay.
You don't have to. It's just, it's going to be better than you pointing from there because I can't really see what you're referring to.
So yeah, you have these buildings right here are 3 5-unit buildings. Those are all the same floor plan. I will have the final version of those architectural plans by October 1. So at that point, I'll send it to you guys and then we'll get the HBC thing. And then I'm slated to have the architectural plans for these units about 3 weeks later. So I have all those in hand here within the next few weeks. But I think tonight, basically, our purpose is for the council to ask questions about kind of what we've come up with so far.
Anybody got questions? I do know as part of, I think from the beginning, there was a discussion about, again, obviously this is a really important corner to us as it's one of the main gateways to the city, and seeing some type of architectural drawings. And I know you've submitted, I think the other slide has kind of.
Well, that's just basically the other one, there is an elevation there. And like I said, I will have the 3 buildings with the 5 units. I'll have those by October 1.
Okay.
So here in just a couple weeks.
Okay. Yeah, if you'd be able to share that with Dan.
But
so we can
I guess
push that out to
the
council.
information I can give you now is they're all brick with elements of iron. Each unit does have a rooftop terrace, and the price point as of right now will be in the high 7s. So I mean it'll be pretty nice.
Okay.
Mayor, may I make a motion?
Is there any other discussion? Is everybody good? If there's no other discussion then?
No, I think I'm just looking forward to the architectural, I guess, maybe just the facade, but I know I've had some other discussions about it, so I'm comfortable with waiting for that. I'd like to see that though, before we just like, but I like the, you know, what you've done so far. And I think there's the green space in there and, you know, trying to make that work. I know we had some discussion maybe in the past about an adjacent neighbor and a fence. Those things were able to be worked out.
Yeah, actually, that has been worked out. We visited the neighbor. It went about as good as it could have possibly gone. Very obviously, we offered some concessions with replanting and you know, getting her a new fence and things like that, but she was totally receptive, very friendly. Don't think we'll have a problem at all.
Very good. All right. Because I know that was part of that extension.
Yeah, we actually did that on Tuesday, last Tuesday.
So tonight, we're wanting to, this approval allows everything to move forward as planned, and then after this gets submitted to Randy with the final, it goes through plan review, and then after that, it goes to HPC and then back to us, or it goes to us and then HPC?
Once they have the architecturals, they can go ahead and apply to go to HPC. So
Okay.
the sooner the better.
But it would go to HPC before it comes back to us, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
This will be recommended as approval of the Fourth Amendment to the Real Estate Purchase and Sale Agreement, which stipulates the time frame. There's basically, council's approving the conceptual plans and also approving the agreement with City Overlook Cartersville LLC, which is a new LLC that Matt's company created for this project here.
Okay.
Motion to approve real estate sale and purchase agreement.
At this time, a motion would be in order?
Motion to approve.
Thank you.
real estate sale and purchase agreement.
Good. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Motion carries unanimously.
Very
Thank you,
good.
Matt.
Yep, look forward to presenting the architecturals to you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Porter, you've got the next one as well.
Yes, Mayor. This is basically the standard deed of dedication that we have. This one is in particular for the Emerson RV Park that the Water Department has approved. Keith and David's office have reviewed that and approved it as recommended for your approval.
Thank you. Any discussion on this item? If not, a motion's in order.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor indicate by saying aye.
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 Motion carries unanimously.
The next item, Mayor, is
And I want to pause for a second. Councilman Fox, I apologize that I've not been pausing for your phone response. I know you're getting a little bit of a delay. Did I misstate any of the votes that you have stated?
That is correct.
I've gotten them all.
It's correct that I've misstated them, or everything I've done so far is correct?
Everything you have done so far is correct.
Thank you. And again, I apologize for that. Next item, Dan, you've got this is stormwater utility maintenance agreement. The
yes, sir.
termination agreement.
Termination agreement. Yes, Mayor. Highlands Investment Associates, who we initially entered this termination or this maintenance agreement with several years ago, has sold that parcel. It's out there by Harbor Freight and some other parcels out there. We need to, as Wade Wilson mentioned during the work session, terminate this agreement, and in the future we'll have a new agreement with the new owners for a bigger detention pond, but it's recommended for your approval for this termination agreement.
Okay. Thank you. Questions, comments, or motions on this item?
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor indicate by saying aye.
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 Motion carries unanimously. While Chief Champion is coming up, Chair will entertain a motion to add 2 items to the agenda.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Two items added.
Good evening, Mayor
Go
and
ahead,
Council.
Chief. Yep.
This is an item we're requesting for approval repairs to be made to our 04 Pierce aerial apparatus. The auto leveling feature of the bucket has stopped working properly, which is causing some safety issues for our firefighters. We did get a request for repairs and parts and labor from 10-8, which is our single source provider, for that apparatus repair at a total of $9,218.66, and those will be covered under vehicle maintenance.
Okay. Thank you. Questions for Chief on this? If there are none, a motion's in order.
Make a motion to approve.
All in favor indicate by saying aye.
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 Motion carries unanimously. Mr. Greer, you've got the next 2.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. Which one's first? I don't remember. Which one are we on?
Mimecast.
Mimecast renewal.
This is a budgeted annual support renewal for our Mimecast email security. solution. This provides cloud-based email for threat protection for the city of Cartersville. Total amount is $34,096.46 from SHI, and it is recommended for your approval.
Thank you. Questions on this item? Not a motion's in order.
Make a motion. I'll second the motion.
All in favor indicate by saying aye.
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 Motion carries unanimously. Next item.
The next one is a relocation of our fiber optic infrastructure located at intersection of Old Alabama and Dothert Ferry Road. Total amount is $9,430.05 from NCI. This is not a budgeted item, but with funds are available, and we recommend this for your approval.
Thank you. Questions, comments, or motions?
I have a real quick question. So are we being reimbursed at all for this, or this is our cost of our utility?
This is our cost.
All right. That's another question. I forgot to ask that earlier.
Thank you. Any other discussion? If not, a motion.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor indicate by saying aye.
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 Motion carries unanimously. Thank you, Stephen. Dan, you're back up for
Yes, sir.
this item.
Natural gas filter purchases for Q-Cells. It's a 6-inch filter that we need from the gas department. Low bid was $11,327, recommended for your approval.
Thank you. Questions, comments, or motions?
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor indicate by saying aye.
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 Motion carries unanimously. Freddie, you've got fire station number 5, gas generator.
Yes, so we're requesting approval to go ahead and pre-order the generator for fire station number 5. It is a similar generator we have at multiple city facilities in the amount of $34,309. We're purchasing this from Nixon Power Services. We're purchasing this ahead of that because of 38-week delivery schedule.
Okay. Thank you. Any discussion? If not, a motion's in order.
Make a motion to approve the purchase.
All in favor indicate by saying aye.
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 Motion carries unanimously.
Thank you.
Next, you're going to take up the pension fund.
Yes, sir.
Thank
Yes,
you.
sir. This is the pension fund, our actuarial evaluations, and our individual benefit statements. The invoice is in the amount of $15,000, and we're requesting approval for that, please.
Okay. Thank you. Any discussion? And if there's none, a motion's in order.
Motion approved.
Second.
All in favor indicate by saying aye.
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 The motion carries unanimously. We're going to go to one of those added items, which is a new truck.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. There's a need in the water pollution control plant to replace an existing roll-off unit. We found one with MHC Kenworth in the amount of $263,445 $263,445.46. This is a non-budgeted item, but Sydney has funds that he had budgeted for another vehicle to be utilized for this. We were able to find this. It's replacing a 1995 model that has multiple issues.
Okay. Any questions for Freddie on this item? If there's none, a motion is in order.
Motion to approve.
Thank you.
Second.
All in favor indicate by saying aye.
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 And the motion carries unanimously. We'll keep you up here. We'll get to that other added item in a moment. You've got a couple of first reading of ordinances. The first one is relative to seasonal policy on electric disconnections.
Yes, sir. In our schedule of charges ordinance, we do have an allowance for seasonal disconnections for the gas updates and everything else. We did not have one for electric or any summer ordinance. So we're asking for approval to adopt this, which is similar language to what the PSC or either of our competitors utilize.
Okay, thank you. Any discussion or questions? If not, a motion.
Is this first reading?
Oh, I'm sorry, it's first reading. Thank you.
Yes.
I was tricking y'all, see if you are paying attention. And the fact that I've got no vote written right next to this in my notes really doesn't mean anything evidently. So this is a first reading. We'll take this up for consideration at our next meeting, which is October the 5th.
Yes, sir.
Anybody impressed that I knew that date? Next item is the first reading of an ordinance that we will not vote on again for natural gas rates.
Yes, sir. This is an ordinance you all considered in the past that was updated. We needed to update the actual fees that we charge from that, and we're requesting approval for that upon the second reading.
Okay, thank you. Any questions on this item at this time?
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. And while, before Mr. Wilson comes up, we'll turn it over to Mr. Archer for the second item that was added to the agenda. It's a standard deed of dedication, sir?
Yeah.
Oh, you wanna do that now?
Yes, sir,
I
please.
thought you were asking him to come up. Yeah, what we have requested be added is a certificate of dedication for water and sewer lines, from the developer to the city for the Arcadia apartments, and that's, a standard agreement that we ask every developer after construction to do.
Okay. Thank you. Any questions for Mr. Archer on this item? If there's none, a motion's in order.
Make a motion to approve.
All in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. And that motion carries unanimously. Come on up here, Mr. Wilson. CRS recertification.
Yes, good evening, Mr. Mayor and Council. This is just an application for our recertification of the CRS, which is a community rating system, in order to reduce flood insurance rates from the National Flood Insurance Program. For properties within the city limits, we have to participate in this, and we are requesting the mayor's signature to the annual recertification application with CRS to continue participation in the program.
Thank you. Questions, comments, or motions?
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor indicate by saying aye.
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 Motion carries unanimously. Next one, Wade.
Thank you. Public Works is seeking permission for the mayor to sign the GDOT FY 2024 Local Maintenance Improvement Grant cover letter and any grant application related items. We're proposing to resurface approximately 5.2 miles of various streets within the city. This is our largest resurfacing project we've done here because we have increased our funds. This actual grant amount this year will be $311,688.40. The estimated cost of the project right now we're in the ballpark of around $1 million. Approximately $300,000 will come from the 2020 SPLOST, and the remaining amount will be funded by the maintenance and resurfacing budget. This grant requires 30% local match, which this will provide, and this is a budget item, and we recommend approval of this grant application, or signature of the grant application.
Questions for Wade on this item?
I know that there's a full list of streets here. Are we bound to these streets, or are those in the grant, or are those flexible?
So yeah, we have to put together a package and estimate when we apply for it. So this is what our wish list is based on estimated pricing. And just to let you know, we don't randomly pick these streets out. It's we rate the streets every 2 years, and we try to package them the most economically. So you'll see a lot of these streets are within the same area, so we get a better price doing it that way. So there may be one street that doesn't score as high, but we may get it on another year when we have streets that are closer to that area. So it's, yeah, but when it comes down to it, because this is an estimated $1 million, we may have to add a street or remove a street based on our bids. And once we get this money, we will put it out for bid. It's kind of been all over the place in construction right now. So we're hoping we got a good number here, but we're not real sure yet.
Does that work take place over the course of a year, or do you get it and then schedule it, and then whenever the contractor can get to it, or?
So yes, so typically we'll get the money. It'll be in our account. We'll bid it out, and once we get the bid, we usually have that it has to be completed by June 30th. So depending on, they could, if the weather's good, there's sometimes, some years we've had it done in the fall. Immediately after they sign, we sign the contract with them. But quite often it's in the springtime, and even this past year it was later on. I think it might have been in May when we had it paved this year. So it's really based on the workload.
And then part of that, when they do the bid process, they give them flexibility, which hopefully allows us to get better pricing. So we do give them a June 30 deadline.
Gotcha. Okay. Thank you. Questions?
When you say add a street, do you decide that? We give a suggestion.
Well, typically we go by the rating. I mean, they have a scoring system, and we try to stick to that. And obviously, if we can, find some additional money, and one thing we don't know is how much SPLOST money is available. And this year with the property taxes, Wade, like I said, right now it's the LMIG application. Hopefully, we'll be able to put some more than what we told them at this point in time, and we've done that the past several years. They start out with one number, and as the sales tax and other collections come in a little more favorably, we put a little bit more money in the pot to pave some more streets.
We did that this past year. I think we added Montgomery and Nelson, and they were kind of close to the areas, and they didn't rate very well, and so they needed to be resurfaced, and they were close by, and so we contacted the contractor, and we did add those in.
Just curious.
It's fine.
So, I know that this is just for us, this is a citizen question, but will we post this list of streets so people can see that, or?
I think when we did the contract.
I mean, we could read them out now, but I mean, if we do the contract. Or
Yeah, when we do the contract, we'll bring them up. Yeah, we sure will.
Well, the full agenda is posted on our website, and so if somebody wants to
there's-
see what it is right now, they can go find out now. 'cause
There's
I
quite
mean,
a
I
good
can read
list
them if you
of
want me to.
streets, and that's good.
Okay.
We really don't want you to
All
stand here and
right.
read all those. So, but if somebody wants to find out bad enough, there's an opportunity
Right.
for them to go to the website and do it. So, Chair will entertain a motion.
Motion to approve.
Thanks. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
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 Thank you. Motion carries unanimously.
Oh, and can I add one thing for Mr. Wilson, for Wade, that when he has anything for the next meeting, that his agenda item be put at the front of the agenda? Just a gesture of kindness for him.
That's kind of your way of saying you don't want him in the room very long.
That I'm just saying, I knew that he had submitted things
Come on,
very
Tom.
early.
Good evening, sir.
How are you?
I'm doing great. Hope you are too.
Doing good. I'm Mayor and Council. I bring before you a resolution to open a new account at Georgia Fund 1. In the future, the city will be transferring funds from MEAG into a new account. The new account will be at Office of the State Treasury, Georgia Fund 1. And to complete this, a new account needs to be opened within Georgia Fund 1. This is a resolution authorizing the council to approve and the mayor to sign. I recommend the approval of the new account to house the city's MEAG funds to be opened at Georgia Fund 1, Office of the State Treasury.
Thank you. Any discussion? If there's none, motion's in order.
Make sure.
Second.
All in favor indicate by saying aye.
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 Motion carries unanimously. And now for the July financial report, sir.
Yes, sir. We'll be looking at the July 2023 and comparing to July 2022. In the general fund, revenues increased over the 2022 numbers by $824,000. Expenses increased by $299,000. Areas of revenue I look at on a monthly basis are local option sales tax, have an increase there of about $471,000. Building permits and inspection fees have an increase there of about $132,000. Water and sewer fund, revenues decreased over last year by $807,000. Expenses increased by $122,000. This is due to decreased personnel expenses, increased operating expenses, decreased debt service expenses, increased capital expenses, and increased transfers to the general fund. In the gas fund, revenues decreased over last year by $1.9 million. Expenses decreased by $926,000. This is due to decreased personnel expenses, decreased operating expenses, decreased cost of purchased gas, decreased capital expenses, and increases in transfers to the general fund. In the electric fund, revenues decreased over last year by $40,000. Expenses increased by $81,000. This is due to increased personnel costs, decreased cost of purchased electricity, increased capital expenses, and increased transfers to the general fund. Stormwater fund, revenues increased over the last year by $8,000. Expenses increased by $57,000 due to decreased personnel expenses, decreased operating expenses, and increased capital expenses. In the solid waste fund, revenues increased over last July by $297,000, and the expenses increased by $26,000. This is due to decreased personnel expenses and increased operating expenses. And finally, in the fiber optics fund, revenues decreased over last July by $15,000. Expenses increased by $14,000 due to increased personnel expenses, increased operating expenses, and increased transfers to the general fund. Our cash position for July 2023, the total unrestricted funds decreased while the total restricted funds increased. In the following account balances, SPLOST 2003 has a zero balance. SPLOST 2014 has $231,991.10. SPLOST 2020 is $9,951,700. $745.31.
Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, this is, again, the first month of the fiscal year, obviously kind of starting off better than prior year, as you see with the general fund, even though it's a loss of 17,000, but you always have, in the first month of the year, we pay annual property insurance costs for the entire year, about $1 million out of there, but much better condition than a year ago. The gas, as I shared my memo, basically the gas prices has gone down from a year ago. That's why the profit margin's less, because the higher gas prices we paid, our rate's a little higher from that, but overall, we're doing very well financially. I can answer any question you may have.
I guess just a bit of analysis on both of y'all's part. The fact that, I mean, the sales tax money is, I mean, almost double of what it was the year before. Is that, obviously we've seen the benefit of having strong sales over the last really 18 months, but how much is the, well, I guess it's lost money. So, I mean, it really just lost percentages don't really have anything to do with this, but it's just a good month, and I guess sit back and take.
$200 and some odd thousand of that lost money was actually monies that was determined to be distributed incorrectly from prior years. So if you deduct that, we're actually about $760,000 roughly.
Okay, so we're doing better, but
Yes.
it's a little bit, it's
Yes.
adjusted and they're making good for
Yes.
past mistakes. Gotcha. Okay.
And it also has in the loss, our extra percentage that we're getting over the prior year at this time.
Correct.
We didn't start collecting until January of this year, our extra percentage.
Right. Okay. Thank you. All right, good things all around. Any other questions on the finance report?
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Any other business that needs to come before council this evening? If there's none, Chair will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Stay go.
Hey, Jace, we can make those ice cookies at your house.